Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 211. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing there, Kevin?
Pretty good.
This week on the show, we'll be talking about the Tribeca Film Festival, because that's all I did this week. Lots of Tribeca stuff. Got some good stuff, some bad stuff, some meh stuff. So I'll be kind of going over everything I saw this year.
Alright.
We'll also be talking about some of what we've been watching in the watch list. Basically what we're going to do this episode is just going to make it one big watch list, since all I did this week was Tribeca stuff, so I'm just going to kind of cover all of that stuff. You saw a couple things that we're screening at Tribeca, some of the short films, so we're just going to do one giant watch list this week, and hopefully you guys will get some new movies that you can put on your watch lists to look out for that will hopefully be coming out this year. And I'll give my brief thoughts on everything. We'll also be going over some movie predictions, new on video on demand, Blu-ray releases. First up, let's go over some movie news. The first little stupid throwaway thing that I saw was that New Line is developing a Three's Company movie.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know the answer to this, Kevin. I don't know what to tell you as far as why they're developing a Three's Company movie, because the whole premise of Three's Company, if you remember correctly, was that it was two single women looking for a roommate, but it was kind of a faux pas to have a single guy be a roommate, so he had to pretend to be gay. And that was the whole premise of the show. That every time the landlord or somebody came over, he had to pretend to be gay to justify them having a male roommate.
Yeah.
How is that going to work in 2016?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about this.
That's terrible. It's terrible. It's a terrible idea. Once again.
Yeah.
No original thoughts whatsoever.
Apparently not.
But the interesting thing too is like the things that they decide to pick, to like reboot or whatever it is, even those just don't make any sense. Like there's
it's like
plenty
the
of
worst
stuff. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff out there that they could do that would kind of make sense. You still wouldn't want to see it, but it would make sense. But this doesn't. It just doesn't.
What about a Welcome Back Kotter movie?
There you go.
I mean, they made a 21 Jump Street movie. But the way that they did it was different. I kind of liked that. They put an interesting spin on it.
Yeah.
But Three's Company, I just don't know how they're gonna make that work. And like the Brady Bunch movie is another example where they made it kind of a spoof. They made it kind of a almost darkly comedic spoof of the show. And same with the Addams Family did that too.
Yeah.
But with those, I just don't understand what you're going to do with Three's Company, because if you make it modern, then the whole premise is pointless. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to have it be about two single females and a single dude being roommates? Because that's like what's interesting about that? What's different?
Yeah, nothing's interesting about that at all.
What's the hook? I don't know. It's just a bad idea. This is very, very early stages. There's no script or anything for this yet, so we probably won't be hearing about this for quite a long time, if ever. Again,
that's my favorite part of it too. So they just like throw it out, but they have nothing. They're just like, we're gonna make
We're
this.
thinking about doing it, guys. Just getting it out there. So probably one of the biggest pieces of news this week was that Prince passed away. It was really, really sad news.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. Were you a fan of Prince? Were you a big Prince fan?
I can actually, because I thought about this when Prince passed away. I've never actively listened to Prince ever. I think I know like one song, and I know like I don't even think I know the whole song. I never.
I'm right there with you. I honestly never got into Prince. Now, obviously, I love the Batman soundtrack, the 1989, the Burton Batman soundtrack, which he did that.
It's just reading the stories about him. He seems like the coolest person that's ever lived.
Yeah, that's from what I understand. Yeah, that's what I read too.
Like every single story of him is like absolutely amazing.
I was gonna try to watch Purple Rain this week because I never saw it, but I didn't. I didn't get a chance to. I just didn't. Wasn't able to find the time. But I may try to still squeeze it in at some point. I have the Purple Rain vinyl, but I honestly have never listened to it.
Really?
Yeah, I have it on vinyl, but I never put it on. I just, yeah, honestly, I just wasn't that into his music. Just never got into it.
I see. And I don't even know, to be honest. Like I can't even say if I'm into his music or not. I've never really listened to it.
I bet there's like some of his bigger songs. When you hear them,
Oh, I'm
it's
sure.
probably one of those deals where you didn't realize it was a Prince song.
Because the only one that I can name is "When Doves Cry."
Mm.
If that's even the title of the song. That sounds
Uh,
pretty cool though. I like that song.
yeah. Doris Roberts also passed away this week, which was
Yeah.
also kind of a shock. Mostly because I had no idea she was 90 years old.
Yes.
I mean,
That was the most surprising part of that.
yeah, I couldn't believe that she was that old. She did not look even close to that age. But yeah, that's some very sad news. Also, Patton Oswalt's wife passed away this week too.
Yeah.
So definitely a rough week.
And it seems like every week, doesn't it?
Yeah, 2016 has been really, really bad as far as celebrities passing away, for sure. On a lighter note, we have some trailers this week. Warcraft got a new trailer.
Oh goodness.
I'll still go see it. It looks the CG is really not doing it for me now. I understand that there's really no other way to create this world, but the CG doesn't look great to me. However, this isn't a trailer, and it very well may look a lot better in the actual movie. But I'll go see it either way. The real seller for me is the fact that Duncan Jones is directing it.
Yeah.
I like Duncan Jones' movies, and I think that he has a really interesting vision with his movies, and I'm hoping that they gave him some kind of leeway as far as the Warcraft movie and allowed him to do what he wanted to. So I guess we'll see. The new trailer looks decent. It's similar to the first trailer. There's a movie called Guardians that got a trailer, and this one piqued my interest because it's a Russian superhero movie, and it looks absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't have a US release date, but oh my god, they have to release it over here. There's like a man bear. There's like a man bear character.
I saw the picture of that. My first thought is, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch the trailer. You got a man bear. I'm in.
It is a subtitle trailer, so you can attempt to understand what's going on with it.
Do you even need subtitles though when it's a man bear?
Yeah, you don't really
That
need.
bear, that man.
And the CG looks absolutely awful in it, but hey, I'll still go see it. It looks fun. The Magnificent Seven got a trailer. This is the remake, obviously. I gotta say, this was a pretty good trailer. I had no interest in this movie to begin with, but after seeing this trailer, I was like, all right, you guys sold me on it. I'll go check it out. Never saw the original, so I'll probably have to do that before I see this one, or else I'll just feel like a total dick.
It's okay.
The movie? The original?
No, I haven't seen the original. I don't think.
Oh, you're saying it's okay as in the trailer?
Yeah. Well, no, it's okay if you don't see the original.
Oh.
You can see this one. That's all right.
I feel like it's necessary in this case.
No one's keeping track.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I did see Seven Samurai, so it's...
See? You got that one off the list.
The original one's a remake of Seven Samurai, so it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
We also have The Girl on the Train. This is kind of a Hitchcockian thriller.
Uh-oh.
With Emily Blunt. Looks pretty good. It also had a poster release this week, and the poster looks really cool too.
I am a fan of that poster.
Yeah. So I'm definitely interested in that one. Independence Day Resurgence got a new trailer. I didn't even watch it because who cares? And finally, The Ring versus The Grudge got a trailer. Yes. The Ring versus The Grudge. You know, this started off as an April Fool's joke. Somebody made a fake
Right.
trailer, and it was so popular, and people wanted this to happen so bad that they were like, all right, why not? And they made it.
See, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
That is how you do it. You don't do like, hey guys, remember Three's Company? You want that, right? We're gonna do it for you, cause you wanted it. Nobody asked for Three's Company. Everybody asked for The Ring versus The Grudge.
Maybe that's just how they're doing it now. They just throw ideas out. You know, they don't have a script, nothing. They just throw it out. Everyone's like, "This is a terrible idea," and they're like, "Hey, scrap that. We're not gonna make that movie anymore. We'll keep trotting new ones out until someone's like, yeah, I'd watch that."
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, The Ring versus The Grudge looks awesome, and I can't wait to see that one. No U.S. release date on that one yet. The trailer is not subtitled, but there's not a whole lot of dialogue in it anyway, so it's mostly just creepy stuff.
All you need to know is The Ring versus The Grudge.
I like the idea. I can almost guarantee the movie's going to be terrible, but either way, I'll still be seeing it because I am a fan of both of those.
It's one of those ideas that's so stupid.
Yeah,
that it's great.
Because you know that I have a feeling they're going to fight. Like, I have a feeling that the long-haired ring person and the little kid from The Grudge they're going to actually fight. I bet. And I just want to see that.
You're gonna find out that they have like superpowers that we didn't know of.
Yeah,
like shooting lightning and shit. It's gonna be awesome.
It's probably gonna be ridiculous. So
in the best way possible.
Yeah. All right, let's start our Tribeca stuff with the jury winners and the audience award winners for Tribeca have been announced. I can just go over these fairly quickly because there's not a whole. They don't give out like 8 million awards or anything. For the jury, let me pull these up here. For the jury prize, we have the Founders Award for Best Narrative Feature that went to Dimitri Martin's Dean. Let's see. Best Actor went to Dominic Raines for The Fixer. Best Actress went to Mackenzie Davis for Always Shine. And all these movies, I'm going to talk about a lot of these movies in just a few minutes. Cinematography went to Michael Regan for Kicks. Best Screenplay went to Women Who Kill. Now, let's see. International. The International Narrative Feature went to Junction 48. Best Actor went to... This is international. Best Actor in an International Film went to Alan Sabag for The 10th Man. Actress in an International went to Rahika Apt. What is that? In Clean Shaven, A Part of Madly. I guess that was some sort of anthology film or something. I'm not sure what that's all about. International cinematography went to El Clasico. The DP on that was Kjell Vazdal. International screenplay went to Perfect Strangers. Not the that's not another classic sitcom that's getting remade into a movie.
See, that one you should do.
That one you should do with the original actors too.
Yes.
Documentary went to Do Not Resist. Cinematography for documentary went to Contemporary Color. Editing for documentary went to Contemporary Color. And then the rest of the list, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can check out all of the winners on the site. The audience awards went to Here Alone. And then for the that was for the narrative. And then for documentary, it went to The Return. The runners-up for the audience awards were Midsummer in Newton and then Children of the Mountain. So, again, you can check that list out on the site as well. Let's transition that into thoughts on the festival as a whole.
Okay.
And then we can just dive into. I saw 20 movies there this year.
Oh boy.
It started off a little rocky. The ones that I started with, I was like, oh man, I don't know. And I was looking at my list, and I'm like, some of these look kind of cool, but I saw some really great stuff. So overall, very happy with the festival. There was a lot of VR there this year. They had an entire floor of the festival center, the hub, dedicated to VR experiences. Some of them were interactive, and some of them were just straight up movies done in VR. I think there were 19 of them. So I think that really, because Sundance had a strong VR presence this year as well, and I think that kind of is a sign that VR in storytelling is definitely going to be something that we're going to see a lot more of in the coming years. Because I mean, the Oculus and the Vive are two headsets that just came out. The Gear VR is another one that's been out for a little while. And some of the movies that I saw, one of them was one called Invasion that was like a Pixar-esque short. It was really interesting. It was really fun. One of them was a documentary about street art, and that was kind of cool too because it was all done with dolly shots, and that was in a Gear VR, so you could kind of look around as they were doing these long dolly shots in the kind of the slums, and that was pretty interesting how they did it. And a lot of the paintings that they did, the artist who was at the center of it painted it on glass, so you could kind of, it was this really cool way that it was presented because it was on glass, so you could see through it, but you could kind of like look around behind it and stuff. So that, it was really cool. I saw one that was about these volleyball players who are Olympic hopefuls. I think that I don't know if they had their qualifying match yet, but it's very soon. And they fixed the 360 camera in the middle of the beach volleyball court, so you could kind of just look in full 360 motion as they were playing volleyball, and that was really cool. And there were several other ones too. There was a horror one that was like a slasher where you were kind of in a slasher movie. But yeah, VR definitely had a strong presence this year, and I think that we're going to see a lot of really cool stuff coming out of VR. Are you a believer? Are you interested in this new medium?
I've never, I don't really know anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, I've never experienced it. I don't really have a grasp of what the experience entails.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's such a bizarre foreign thing to me.
And that's like that's one of the big hurdles or barriers for VR, is that it's impossible to describe it to someone who hasn't tried it. Like, I could say, oh, it's like the coolest thing. It's just such a unique experience. It's truly virtual reality. Like, you've never experienced anything like it before. But until you actually put on a headset and really try out some of these different experiences that are available, you really don't have any kind of grasp on how cool it actually is. And I think that that's definitely going to be a hurdle. That, and of course, the price point of these things. Like, if you want to have one in your home, the Oculus Rift is $600, and the Vive is $800, and you need a very, very powerful PC to run these things. Now, the PlayStation VR is going to be coming out later this year in October. That's going to be $400, so it's going to be more reasonable. And I think that that's going to be what a lot of people have their first kind of VR experiences on, because it's going to be, a lot of people have PS4s at this point, and it's going to be an easier way to get into it. I mean, that's probably what I'll do, because I do have a gaming PC, but I would have to upgrade it in order to get a Vive or an Oculus, and I just don't want to spend the money. So, yeah, I think that, I mean, it's early days. They're just starting to play around with this technology, and we're already seeing some really, really cool stuff. Like, the one thing that I did was with a Vive, which is it comes with these like kind of these like motion controllers. You hold one in each hand, and the game or experience, if you will, was like that you are scuba diving and you have to find different pieces of coral and shells and sea life and kind of analyze it. So you swim, and you actually like go through swimming motions, and you have to like use the controllers to pick up these objects. And it was just so immersive, even though the game itself didn't look great. Like, the graphics were really low res, and it didn't look like a modern video game. It looked like something out of 2005 or something. But
oh, really?
But it was still really an immersive experience. Like, you felt like you were underwater swimming through and trying to find these, like, you know, sea creatures and stuff. And it was just a really cool experience. So, getting into the movie side of things, I started it off with Holidays, which I talked about, I believe, last week. There was a horror anthology movie. Didn't like it at all. That is available on VOD right now, so you can check that out if you'd like. And go back and you can listen to my more detailed thoughts on it. I also have a review up on the site. Did not like it, so I can't recommend that. The next one I saw was Tiger Raid. This is another entry in the midnight section of this year's festival. I did see all of the midnight movies. There were 6 of them. This one I also did not like one bit. What's that?
You didn't like Tiger Raid?
No, I didn't. This was probably one of my least favorites of the whole festival. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's not good. It's pretty crappy. So this is a directorial debut from a guy named Simon Dixon. It's about 2 Irish mercenaries who are in Iraq, and they are tasked with kidnapping the daughter of some sort of rich. I don't know. I can't remember if he's like a diplomat or if he's someone in the government or someone in the army or the military. But he's like a high-profile target. So they're tasked with kidnapping this guy's daughter, and basically the entire movie is them going to kidnap her, and then conversations they have after they kidnap her while waiting for extraction, essentially.
Yeah.
It's very, very slow. Most of the entire movie is just dialogue based. Like, it's just them bantering with one another. The only thing that this really has going for it is there are some strong visuals. Like, you see it in the poster, they have this like black face paint that covers their eyes, and it seems like nothing but a stylistic choice. Like, there's no reason for them to really have that other than to kind of look cool, but it does kind of work. The big problem is that these 2 characters, played by Brian Gleason and Damian Maloney, are so horrible that you just want them to die within the first 5 minutes. You're like, just somebody please shoot these assholes so this movie can be over. They're so horrible. Like Brian Gleason's character, he just like nonchalantly talks about raping women and murdering people, and they're just such evil people that you have no empathy towards them whatsoever.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what because I brought it up on IMDb, and the first line of the synopsis is they ride a black wave of camaraderie.
Yeah, but it's like not even funny.
Thanks.
Like the conversations they have aren't even interesting. They're just boring, and I just couldn't get into Tiger Raid. Did you want to talk about something you saw? Because I don't want it to just be. I don't want to bore you.
I watched one short documentary, and mostly just because when I stumbled upon it, I thought, yeah, what has happened? And the documentary is called Gift of Gab, which is a short documentary about Black Alicious.
Yeah, I wanted to watch this. I saw this on the list.
So, and I was thinking, and I was just actually thinking this the other day because I've been listening to Black Alicious recently. I'm like, whatever happened to Black Alicious? Whatever happened to Gift of Gab? Because, my God, is he like one of the best rappers ever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very underappreciated. I mean, he's just incredible. So, turns out the number one thing that I learned is they came out with an album last year, their first one in 10 years. So that's what they've been doing. Apparently, I just missed that.
I saw that, yeah, in the trailer for this. I saw that they came out with an album, but I didn't go and seek it out yet.
I'm gonna have to cop that because he still got it. It's real short. It's only like 6-7 minutes or something like that. And it just kind of picks up with him. I guess a couple years back, he was sick, thought he had the flu or whatever. It wasn't going away. He ended up going to the hospital, and here it turned out that he had kidney failure. So he's been on dialysis for all this time. And I guess that's kind of what prompted him to make a new album, because oddly enough, he realized that while he's on dialysis, he has nothing to do. So he just decided, I guess I'll write some raps while I'm here.
Yeah, you just have to sit there.
Yeah, so it turns out that he said he like 75% of the album he wrote while on dialysis with him just sitting there. So it just goes over that a little bit. It's actually one of those that, with it only being 7 minutes, I mean, it's kind of a standard doc. It's just kind of straightforward, and relies a lot on its subject matter. But it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I wish this was like a lot longer. I wish this was like a full documentary because I
Right.
want to see a full documentary of Gift of Gab. Like, please give that to me.
I know. I wish I could. Oddly enough, I was watching old Scribble Jam videos last night, and I was like thinking to myself, man, I wish they would like make a documentary about this time. Like,
But yeah, like even
like catch up with some of these guys.
well, I mean, that would be great. Just a documentary on Quantum
Yeah.
would be fantastic to see Black Alicious and Latif and DJ Shadow and everything. That would be fantastic. Oh man.
I
Sign me the
know that
fuck
DJ
up.
Shadow has a new album coming out.
Yeah.
Because I heard the, I guess was the intro track and then the track with Run the Jewels,
Yes.
which I love. Oh,
Goodness.
Shadow's back. He's back. I saw a movie called Here Alone. This was the Audience Award winner, which
Okay.
definitely shows that I'm not in line with the audience on this one. Because I did not really care for this movie. It wasn't horrible or anything. It's a post-apocalyptic zombie movie. I know, it's something new. It's directed by Rob Blackhurst. Looks gorgeous. I will give it that. It has this kind of indie sensibility to it. I mean, it's an indie movie, but the look of it is definitely. I would probably compare it to Maggie. You know how Maggie has this kind of washed out, gritty look to it. That's kind of how this one looks. I'd also even compare it to The Battery, although this looks more artfully done than The Battery. I'm sure it had a larger budget. Basically, it's about this woman who is surviving out in the woods alone after the zombie apocalypse takes place, and it cuts back and forth between her past and the present. And in her past, she's escaping from this hotel where you hear gunshots, and she's escaping with her husband and their child. And then it'll cut to the present where her child and husband are not there. So you know that something probably horrible happens to them, but you don't know what until towards the end. Along the way, she meets up with this guy and his stepdaughter, and they kind of team up, and she begins to form a relationship with the guy, and the stepdaughter gets jealous of that and tries to sabotage her, and terrible things happen, just awful things. It's a pretty gross movie, like what she has to do to try to avoid detection by the zombies. She has to kind of cover her entire body with mud and then drench herself in urine to try to throw off the scent. So it's pretty gross. But I really just wasn't. It's really, really slow. The payoff is not great, and I have a full review for this up on the site too. Most of these movies I'm going to talk about, we have reviews up on the site. I just wasn't that into it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It looks good, but it just wasn't. It didn't bring enough new to the table for me to be like, oh, okay. I mean, last year I saw a movie called The Survivalist at Tribeca, and it's very similar, although I would say that the Survivalist it's more challenging. It's one that I would recommend over Here Alone. And I didn't love The Survivalist either, just because it's such a dour movie.
Yeah.
That it's hard to get into.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing about Here Alone, it doesn't sound new.
No, I don't
special.
I don't think that you would particularly be into that one.
Not up my alley.
Let's see. I saw a movie called California. This is a coming of age.
Oh boy.
It's not a comedy. It's got comedic elements, but it's pretty much a drama. It's about this girl living in Brazil in 1984. She's like 17, and she dreams of going to California to see her uncle. She's kind of infatuated with her uncle, who's a journalist, a music writer in California, and she has this big trip planned, but the trip gets canceled after her uncle ends up having to come back to Brazil. And it just kind of it deals with the typical stuff that most coming of age stories deal with, like love and sex and friendship and growing up and finding yourself and all of that stuff. But it also kind of deals with some of the social and political issues that were happening during the time. Like during this time, I believe that Brazil was becoming a democracy, so there was kind of some political strife happening in the country at the time, and then also the AIDS crisis in the United States was everywhere. The global AIDS crisis was really starting to take hold, so that was an issue that was dealt with as well, and it was okay. I didn't the problem with this, and I know that this is not the fault of the movie, the filmmaker, is directed by Marina Persson. That there were a lot of movies that like this that came out recently. I mean, you have Girlhood, you have Mustang, you have even Wetlands dealt with all of these kind of similar things, and these are all movies that came out within the last year, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like that it's just we're a little bit oversaturated with these coming of age stories.
Yeah. We gotta take a break for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's put it on the back burner. Let's, like, a moratorium on it. Can't do any coming of age movies for like 2 years. Let's just say 2 years, and then we can come back to it.
Or at least just, like, you know, drip feed them to us. Don't give us this never-ending flood.
But that's what we need to do. On like an international scale with cinemas, we've got to start rationing.
Yeah.
Genres and narratives. Like we can hand them out like grants, maybe.
Yeah.
Like you have to like write an essay or something. Propose what your idea is, and if it sounds different or new, then we'll let you do it. You know, it'll be
yeah. That's the problem with this, is that it is perfectly competent. I mean, it looks good. It's got a great soundtrack. You know, it takes place in '84, so you have like there's a lot of Bowie in this, and they play like the Smiths and New Order, and it's got a really solid soundtrack. And I love the '80s aesthetic, but at the same time, there's just it's just not a lot that I haven't seen before. So I guess I'm feeling the malaise of these coming of age stories a little bit. So, but it's still a solid movie, and I would recommend it. Keeping in the coming of age theme, I saw Kicks. Now this turned out to be one of my favorite movies at the festival.
Okay.
You weren't a big fan of Dope, if I remember correctly.
No.
You should see Kicks, because Kicks is like Dope, but it does everything better. In every aspect, it is better. It's a movie about a kid who he's growing up in, I don't know if he's growing up in like kind of South Central Los Angeles area, but he's in like Southern California, and he's very poor. He has these kind of ratty shoes, and he just dreams of getting out of the situation that he's in, and also getting a pair of Jordans. He wants Air Jordans so bad, and he works and works and works, and he finally saves up enough to get a pair. And the first day that he wears them, he gets jumped, and he gets beat up, and this thug they steal his Jordans. So the entire movie is about him and his two friends going to get back. They take this road trip to Oakland in order to get back his shoes. And along the way, it's weird. Like, you can see it in the poster where there's like an astronaut that's kind of throwing him the shoes. He has these kind of fantasies about seeing this astronaut come down and give him things, and so he has these like dreamlike interludes that happen throughout the movie. And he does narrate it sometimes, but the narration's actually really funny, and I didn't find it to be jarring or unnecessary. I thought that it really added to it. And the movie is kind of done in chapters, but rather than kind of like numbered breaks within the chapters, they're all titled after hip-hop songs, which was completely unnecessary, but just an interesting stylistic choice. Because really the chapter breaks, they weren't really needed. It's not like something different happened in this chapter than in that chapter, but it was just a nice little added thing. And each of the songs that the chapter's titled, that chapter starts with that song playing like in the car or in the background or whatever. And it's really funny, but it's certainly not a comedy. Whereas Dope, I think, is targeted as a comedy. Like, it's definitely supposed to be a comedy. This one is more of a drama that has a lot of comedic elements to it, and it's fantastic. Like I can't speak highly enough of this movie. So when this movie comes out, it's called Kicks. Definitely see it.
I want to see Kicks.
Yeah, it's got a great soundtrack. The script is just because it sounds so superficial and kind of silly. You know, it's about a kid who has the shoes stolen. He's trying to get these shoes back, but it's all done in a very metaphorical way. And
because he worked his ass off to get them shoes, man.
And it's done in a very smart way too. And I loved it. I thought it was great. How about one from you?
I watched a short narrative. It's called Catch a Monster by Michael Lee. This was about 14, 15 minutes, I think. Started out pretty good. It's got a nice look to it, a lot of utilizing a lot of soft focus and everything, but the main thing that made it work for me was how it withheld most of the information. So it's about this young kid kind of in a poor section of Bolivia, and he comes across these teenagers that they talk about this, old tale, this like rich guy that lives around them, and how he's nicknamed the Hunter, and all these stories about what he does and who he is, and no one really knows, and it's all kind of like a mystery. So they talk this kid into breaking into the guy's home to try and find out, try and get some information, maybe steal some things for money, because he's ridiculously rich. He's got so much money, and he's a foreigner. No one really knows where he came from, what he does, that type of thing. And what's great about it is it does it doesn't give you any of that information. It really draws it out within that, it's only 14, 15 minutes long, but it does its best to really keep a lot of that hidden until like just at the end, and it kind of gives you that good payoff.
Cool.
And you kind of figure out who he is.
What was the name of that again?
Catch a Monster.
Catch a Monster. Okay. The problem is I don't know how readily available any of these shorts will be in the future.
Yeah, really.
That's always the unfortunate thing about short films is you really have no idea. Like, hopefully they'll be up on Vimeo at some point.
It's either that they either show up on Vimeo, or at some point in time this guy makes it, and when one of his DVDs comes out, it'll be like,
oh yeah,
here's one of his first shorts.
Yeah. Or he'll remake it into a feature, because which I guess I can segue into a movie I saw called Fear Inc., which was actually adapted into a feature from a short film.
Your segues are on point today, buddy.
Yeah, I'm like looking at my list here, and I'm kind of grouping them up in my head so that there's at least some sort of order to them.
Oh shit, he's mapping them out. Watch out.
So this is directed by Vincent Mascial. It was another one of the Midnight movies. So it's a kind of a horror comedy about this. There's this company that sells custom scares. So if you want to be scared, if you're looking, if the haunted houses in your area are not doing it for you around Halloween time, and you want to get truly terrified, you call up this number and hire this company, and they will give you this kind of custom made scare. If it sounds a lot like the game, it is. It's exactly like the game. In fact, it's so much like the game that they even reference it in the movie. They say like, "Oh, this is exactly like the game, David Fincher's movie," and they kind of make a joke about it. It's all done in a very tongue-in-cheek way. Like the film, it definitely straddles the line between horror and comedy. Like, it's not overly goofy or anything. It's not a spoof by any stretch, but it definitely gets into kind of parody territory. Even as far as how the movie itself is structured. Like the opening sequence is it features Abigail Breslin, who plays a character that takes part in this Fear Inc. thing, and she gets killed, or supposedly gets killed, in the opening scene. So it's very much like a Scream type opening. And the thing is, the main character he's kind of obsessed with horror movies. So the custom scares that were developed for him all involve horror movies. So you have like references to Friday the 13th and The Shining and Saw and all these other movies. But like the game, you never really know if what's happening is real or not. And the kind of interesting thing is, because he's a huge horror guy, he believes through through almost the whole movie that this is all fake, and he doesn't believe any of it. And then, until something really terrible happens, and then he's like, okay, this is real. There's something going on here. It's pretty good. I had fun with it. I mean, it's definitely flawed. Like the game, there's some kind of leaps of faith you have to take with the movie, because you have to kind of, if it didn't go just this right way, something terrible would have happened and the whole thing would have fallen apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in this one, because in this one, people are getting murdered and stuff. So it's like they really need him to go to like specific places at a specific time if this is going to work. So it all just kind of falls into place almost perfectly. So if you can get past that, it's kind of a fun watch, I would say. There's like 4 false endings though, and that had me frustrated by the end. And I know that they did it on purpose. They were deliberately doing that, but
yeah,
it got old because it just wouldn't end.
even when you're doing it on purpose and making fun of it, it just doesn't really work in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it work.
Like one false ending is sometimes okay, depending on what it is, but man, when you have that many, just nope.
Just end the thing.
Since I already talked about several of the other Midnight movies, I'll talk about another one called Rebirth. This is directed by Carl Mueller. This is with Fran Kranz and Adam Goldberg. This is it's a lot like Fear Inc. actually, where Fran Kranz is kind of living this life of this kind of mediocre life where he's just doing the same thing day in, day out. He's got the office job, he's got the wife and kid, and he's just kind of feeling bored. He's just bored with life. And Adam Goldberg shows up, was a college buddy of his, and says, like, I'm going to this retreat this weekend. You got to come. It's going to change your life. It's called Rebirth. And he ends up deciding to go, and it's this kind of mystery thing where he shows up to this hotel, and there's like all this kind of weird stuff that's going on. And eventually he follows the clues and ends up getting on this bus and getting blindfolded. And he's not sure if it's like a cult thing or if it's even real what's happening.
Yeah.
And it basically turns into the same kind of situation as Fear Inc., where you don't know if what's happening is real or part of this rebirth process, and you don't know if it's like a cult or some sort of like therapeutic self-help retreat thing. So you're never really sure what it is. This one I didn't really. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't great, but yeah, it had its moments. I wasn't really that into it though. Big fan of Adam Goldberg though. He did a pretty great job in this.
So this is one of the Netflix movies.
Yes, that is correct. So this will be available on Netflix. I don't know when. There probably is a release date for this, but I'm not sure when. But yeah, Netflix is going to be putting this out. I'd say it's probably a light recommend.
A little fun one, maybe.
Yeah. King Cobra was another one that I saw that was a midnight movie. This is directed by Justin Kelly. This stars Christian Slater and James Franco, and it tells the true story of this gay porn actor who kind of got caught in between a feud between 2 rival production companies. So he starts off in the business with Christian Slater. Christian Slater hires him to do videos for his website. He blows up. It gets huge. He's making Christian Slater money hand over fist, but he's only getting a very small amount. He gets pissed and he's like, okay, I can make so much more money if I try to leave, but he's under contract with Christian Slater. He tries to go to Franco's company, and sort of a feud breaks out, leading to a violent conclusion. This one was a little for me.
Interestingly, there's James Franco, Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, Molly
Silverstone.
Yep.
Christian Slater.
Yep.
Whew.
Yeah, good cast. Great cast. It was okay. It was just one of these kind of interesting true crime style. One of these interesting true crime style movies that was. I don't know. I don't really have anything to say about it, honestly. It was okay. It was fine. It didn't It was interesting. It was entertaining, but it didn't wow me in any way.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Franco make out and have sex with a dude in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's that if you're a big Franco
If you
person.
been
He
waiting
actually
for that.
turned out a really great performance. He had two kind of key
What?
scenes that were really good. I'll say
James James Franco.
that. Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It
Yep.
was him.
He was quite good.
Wow.
Quite good.
Maybe he's finally figuring it out.
Yeah. Sticking with the true crime style, I saw a movie called A Kind of Murder. This it's not. I believe it's a fictional story, but it's about a true crime writer of sorts. Takes place in the 60s in New York, early 60s, so it still kind of has that almost 50s vibe to it. This is directed by Andy Goddard and stars Patrick Wilson and Jessica Biel and Eddie Marzin's in there. Basically, it's about Patrick Wilson plays this architect / true crime writer, which is ridiculous right out of the gate. It's like this movie's so messy, it just has no idea what it wants to be. I'm probably not going to write a review for this one, but so he's unhappy in his marriage. His wife appears to be mentally ill. She's like very depressed. She lashes out at him. She's insanely jealous, and he, through his writing, discovers that this man's wife, the man's played by Eddie Marzin, he's a bookstore owner. His wife was murdered, and the police had no clues as to who the killer was. But Patrick Wilson, being the true crime novelist that he is, knows that it was him. He knows Eddie Marzin did it. And so he kind of hatches this plan, possibly. He starts thinking about hatching this plan to to murder his wife in the same way, to make it look like the same killer struck again, or, a copycat occurred. But things go horribly wrong. One thing that I'll say is there's this great, it's sort of a cat and mouse noir story almost. There's this great chase scene towards the end between Patrick Wilson and Eddie Marzin that was lifted. I mean, it looks like it was lifted directly from Third Man, but it was done really well. The lighting in this movie is really good, but other than that, it is kind of messy. Like there's just too much going on in here. None of it was very concise. Like, I don't really know what the message was with this movie.
This is also Patricia Highsmith novel.
Oh, okay.
So it's adaptation. So the same woman that wrote Carol, Kind of Murder.
Yeah. Very stylized. A lot of it was done with like kind of green screen and a lot of like After Effects added type stuff, but it still looks good. Yeah. You want to add something?
I had another short documentary that I watched, and this was another one that I kind of thought, man, you could make this a full length. And that's starring Austin Pendleton. I don't know if you know who Austin Pendleton is, but he is.
Sounds familiar, but no, I don't think so.
He's a character actor. He's been in like hundreds, like 100 and what's IMDb say here? 135 credits. So he's been in a little bit of everything. He was in The Mend last year, Finding Nemo, A Beautiful Mind.
Oh yeah, he was in. Yes, I know exactly. He was. Oh man,
he's kind of in everything.
Yeah, he's been in everything forever too. Like he's.
My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, he was in Short Circuit.
Yeah, I mean, tons of stuff. Catch-22, the whole way back to like 1968. I mean, he's been in a little bit of everything. So it's just kind of about him and, what he's done in the past and what he's doing now. They have interviews with a lot of people that he's worked with, like Meryl Streep, Philip Seymour Hoffman, because Philip Seymour Hoffman actually, that's how he got his start, was through Austin Pendleton. He like auditioned for Austin Pendleton, and that's how he kind of got his start. And it has some like old footage of them two working together, like early days, And again, it's one of those things that execution wise, it's nothing spectacular. It's pretty straightforward, clips of old movies, sitting, talking head interview type thing, and then just some footage of him, he's doing workshops or whatever it might be, that type of thing. So it's nothing really spectacular in that sense, but it's just the subject matter is interesting enough that it's like I would like to see a whole documentary about him.
Yeah. I think Oz is the one thing that, because there was a role that he had that's sticking out in my mind where he played like a mentally ill person, and I'm pretty sure it was Oz.
Well, and the great thing is because they show little clips of him in like a ton of movies that he's been in, right? And honestly, like every single little clip, I was like, God damn, I want to watch that movie. Like, damn, that movie looks good too. Because the thing is when he was little, he had like a terrible, terrible stutter. Like he couldn't talk, and he still stutters, and he has difficulty with it. And they kind of show some scenes where he'll kind of like work it in, or if he can't say the word, he'll just change it to something else. So the thing that stuck out for him was kind of a joke in the short documentary is that my cousin Vinny, he was doing it for a friend. He's playing this role, and this role is him being, if you remember my cousin Vinny, he plays a lawyer that has a terrible, terrible stutter.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is what I'm going to be remembered for now. The thing that I've been trying to get away from.
Yeah, that looks interesting. I'm going to have to seek that one out. Definitely.
Plus, I got to watch it like a shit ton of Austin Pendleton movies.
Yeah, definitely. I saw Always Shine. I was
wondering if you were going to catch this one.
Yeah, I made a point to have this on my list. This is directed by Sofia Takal. Now,
quick question.
Yeah.
Because if I was her, I would pronounce my last name like Method Man saying Takal.
Takal?
Yes, that's how I would do it. And I really hope that that's what she does.
I hope so. I sincerely hope so.
Because that's a missed opportunity if you're not.
So she directed this. Her husband, Lawrence Michael Levine, wrote it. He's in it. She's not. She's solely behind the camera on this one. However, the film is kind of based around experiences that she had in real life as an actress, coming up as an actress. If you saw Queen of Earth, there's some solid comparisons that could be made between those two movies. I would argue that this actually does it better. I liked this quite a bit more than Queen of Earth. But it's sort of a psychological thriller, a very De Palma-esque psychological thriller about these two friends who are actresses who go to this remote cabin for a weekend. And as you quickly learn, there's some jealousies and some kind of emotional breakdowns that occur, and things basically just kind of continue to escalate until something terrible may or may not happen. Well, it's like I said, it's a very psychological film. So there's things that happen inside other people's heads. So there's some surrealism being used here. I think that you will like this one, Kevin, for sure.
I'm pretty excited for this one.
It stars Mackenzie Davis and Caitlin Fitzgerald. They both do a fantastic job. Very small cast in this one. I mean, Lawrence Michael Levine plays sort of a love interest, and he does a great job. He's just not in it a whole lot. And it's very tense. It's one of these deals where it's a very slow movie. It's very methodical in its escalation of the tension, but eventually, things do begin to boil to a head, and it's I liked it a lot. It was probably one of my favorites of the festival, for sure. So I would say when Always Shine comes out, definitely that's absolutely going to be worth a look. And, it's all kind of about jealousies. And there's some really great shots in this. Zach, what's his name? Zach Ward? The guy that did White Reindeer?
Oh, Zach Clark?
Zach Clark, yeah, sorry. Zach Clark edited this movie, so it's got some really, really interesting shots, and there's this great argument between the two characters when things are almost at a boiling point, and it's a single take shot of them, and it just goes back and forth. The camera just pans back and forth between the two of them arguing, and it was just such a great scene. Probably one of the most powerful scenes in the movie. But yeah, Always Shine, I would highly recommend checking that one out.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, there were a number of movies at this year's festival that kind of blurred the lines between fiction and reality. I mean, Always Shine is certainly it's a straight up fictional movie, but it was drawn from, real experiences and real emotion that the director had in real life. Yeah. One movie that blurs the lines to an unbelievable level is Actor Martinez.
See, this movie and Always Shine, when I saw that you saw this, I've never been so jealous in my life.
So this is directed by Nathan Silver and Mike Ott. Now, Nathan Silver, we've talked about numerous times on the show. He did...
Indeed.
What?
I said indeed.
Yeah, he did Uncertain Terms, and what was the other one that I did not see?
Stinking Heaven.
Stinking Heaven, yeah.
Which is incredible.
Yes, I do plan on seeing that as soon as possible. So Actor Martinez is I don't even know how to describe this movie.
Good.
That's
what I like to hear.
I would say it is worth seeing. It's a comedy about a guy he's a computer technician. He's like an on-site computer technician, and he has an affinity for acting. And he kind of hosts this acting group in his town. I believe it's in Denver. And he decides to hire two independent filmmakers to make a movie about his life. So he hires Nathan Silver and Mike Ott. Now, the character, Arthur Martinez, is played by Arthur Martinez, the real-life guy. Nathan Silver and Mike Ott are Nathan Silver and Mike Ott. So you can see already where the lines between reality and fiction are starting to get blurred right from the beginning. So they start off by just kind of filming him in his day-to-day life, introducing him and what he does and all this stuff. And then they're like, okay, well, let's start to spice things up a bit. Let's start introducing more characters in here. So they have basically an audition for his girlfriend. And what they want to do is they want to have somebody that sort of reminds him of his ex-wife. So they cast somebody who they think reminds him of his ex-wife, but then they have to get rid of her because she reminds him of his ex-wife. And then they're like, okay, let's bring in somebody to be a new girlfriend. So they cast Lindsay Burge, the actress Lindsay Burge from, you probably know her from A Teacher. And she plays herself, and they cast her to play the role of Lindsay. So it's Lindsay Burge playing Lindsay Burge being the character of Lindsay. And basically, I don't want to get any more into it than I already have, but it's just layer upon layer upon layer. And they'll do like takes, but you never know all the way up until the end. You have no idea what about this movie is real and what about it is not. So it's this amazing blend of like documentary and then this kind of like docudrama, but then straight up drama. And it's just this crazy meta mindfuck that's happening. And it's great. It's freaking fantastic. And it's got a great, the end is awesome too. And you'll be a big fan of it, Kevin. I know that for a fact.
I can't wait for this one.
Yeah. Can't speak highly enough of that one too. That's probably top two. Like, I think it'd be like Kicks, Actor Martinez, and then the next one that I'll touch on, which is Love True, which is this is a documentary by Alma Harrell, who is she's the same director that did Bombay Beach, which I was a big fan of.
Oh, okay.
So, like Bombay Beach, this is another movie that kind of blends fiction with actual documentary footage. So if you saw Bombay Beach, one of the interesting things about that movie is that she had her subjects do kind of like theatrical interpretations of different things. Like she would have them do dance numbers and stuff like that and have them do performance pieces essentially. Well, in Love True, it's sort of the same. She does sort of the same thing.
Yeah.
Instead of having the film be centered around a location, this one is actually kind of centered around a theme, which is love. And she follows the lives of three different people. One person is in New York City, one is in Hawaii, and one is in Alaska. So three very, very different locations, but all three of them are kind of beautiful in their own way. I mean, some of the landscapes that she gets, is just incredible. Just beautiful, beautiful film. And what she does in this one is she actually kind of has them acting out their internal emotions. So, for instance, the one character from Hawaii, when the film started off, he was with his high school sweetheart. They had a child together. They're very much in love. But then he finds out that she was cheating on him with his best friend, and that the son that he thought was his was not actually his biological son. So one of the things that she does is, because he talks about, how he feels about his friend that betrayed him. So she kind of does this reenactment where he's underwater, like in the ocean, like kind of fighting this person who's portraying his enemy. And it's just amazingly done. I mean, it sounds like something that would be really hard to make it work and make it not kind of silly, but she does a really fantastic job. And the character that's from Alaska, she's actually a stripper, and she's young. I think she's in her early 20s, and she's just deathly afraid of being stuck in this town, being a dancer for the rest of her life. And one of the things that the director does that's interesting is she actually hires this older woman who's 50, who is a coworker of this girl, to play her mom in the movie. So, or not her mom, sorry, her future self. Okay. So she's kind of like confronting a possible future for herself. And it's just a really, really interesting film. If you liked Bombay Beach, you'll definitely like this one. Again, it's called Love True. Great soundtrack from Flying Lotus as well. It's kind of like ambient, almost haunting soundtrack that's throughout. But yeah, highly recommend that one. Did you have any other Tribeca ones?
No, that's all I had.
Okay. I have a couple other ones here that I can try to bang out pretty quickly. I saw a lot of fairly generic documentaries, so I can kind of just group these all together. Shadow World it's a documentary about the kind of the arms trade, sort of. So it deals with gun running and stuff like that, but the legal methods of doing that. So it kind of looks at how governments deal with arms trades, like how we sell weapons to different countries and how we buy weapons from different countries. And they interview actual arms traders and kind of get into the nitty gritty of how all that works and the money that's made and the power struggles and all of that stuff. It sounds like it'd be really interesting, but it's not. It's incredibly boring. And it really, it just throws you in. Like, the movie starts in World War I for some reason, and it just bombards you with facts and figures and things, and it's just not. I didn't find it that interesting at all. I found it to be quite boring. The Banksy Job. This is a documentary about this guy named AK-47 who proclaims himself as an art terrorist, and what he does is he hatches this plan to steal a Banksy piece. Banksy made this giant sculpture that was a replica of the Thinker, and he put a road cone on its head. And this guy decided that he's going to steal this Banksy piece. So he steals it and holds it for ransom. And it's just, it's kind of an interesting story, but the whole Banksy thing, I'm just kind of over with. I'm just kind of done with the Banksy stuff, because even with Banksy, you never know what's real and what's not. There's interviews with someone who may or may not be Banksy in this movie, but at this point, it's I don't even care about this. The guy was not interesting. He was interesting, but he just wasn't that likable. So I didn't care about his quest to piss off Banksy. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about his heist or anything like that. And quite frankly, I didn't even know if what I was watching was even real or not, because that's just the nature of all of this Banksy stuff.
You get that Banksy in there, never know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Magnus was a pretty straightforward documentary about this chess prodigy from Norway, I believe. It was interesting, even though I'm not a big chess guy, but this kid is like unbelievable. He's amazing at chess, and he's now the highest ranked chess player of all time. No one is ranked higher than him or has ever been ranked higher than him. So he is the best chess player in the entire world in history.
Whoa.
Yeah. He became a grandmaster at 13, I believe.
Jeez.
Yeah. He's just ridiculous. It's a movie worth watching just to be amazed at what this kid can do on a chessboard. It's incredible. Let's see. Untouchable is a movie about this lobbyist in Florida who basically his daughter was sexually abused as a child, and he kind of made it his life's work to create some of the strictest sex offender laws in the country. And it basically just kind of, it tells things from his perspective, but they also kind of go at it from the other angle as well. And in the end, it kind of makes him look like a complete asshole, like an inhuman asshole, because of these laws that he's trying to get passed and things like that give people that are on the registry like no rights whatsoever. And at the onset you might say, well, they don't deserve any rights, but as you watch the documentary you kind of understand like this is a real gray area that we're getting into here with this stuff, and it needs a broader conversation than just strip them of everything, including their homes. Like, a lot of these people are forced to live on the streets because they can't live, they need to live in an underpass because they can't be within 2,000 feet of a school or a church or where any children are, which basically limits them to like a highway overpass,
Yeah.
But it's kind of an interesting story. This one I don't think we'll be reviewing because my girlfriend actually knows several of the people in this documentary, so a little bit of a conflict of interest with that one. Bugs, that's just this documentary about these two guys in Norway who are trying to learn more about edible insects and learn about how like food sustainability works as far as like integrating insects into that, because like in the future, the world's population is going to be over 9 billion and we're going to need to increase food production, and a lot of companies and things are looking into using insects as like sustainable sources of protein. It's not very, it's well shot, sure, but it's not that interesting. There's a lot of really gross bug eating in it though, so if you want to see people eat giant grubs and larvae and shit, then maybe check it out. The only other one that I will mention that I forgot when I was kind of talking about the comedies was Don't Think Twice, which is Mike Birbiglia's latest.
Oh, okay.
It's about an improv group. So one of the members of the improv group becomes big, like they get their big break, and they end up on a show called Weekend Live, which is basically SNL. And it's just how the rest of the group reacts to this, and kind of the little bit of resentment that they have towards him kind of going off and doing bigger and better things. And Mike Birbiglia plays the main character, and he's kind of, not only is he jealous of this person, but he actually trained this person because he's an improv teacher as well. That's what he does for money. And so he feels like really bad, and he's getting older too. So he's sort of having this like midlife crisis where he's realizing like, is this as far as I can take this career, with this improv group. Also, the theater that they perform at is closing. So that's like an added stress that he's dealing with. It's pretty good. It's with Mike Birbiglia's in it, Gillian Jacobs, Keegan-Michael Key, and several other people are in this one as well. And it's pretty funny. It didn't like blow me away. I wasn't laughing hysterically or anything. Because I find improv to be awkward and not in a good way. Like just I can't take improv seriously. I don't like it. Like I don't like the warm up routines that they do, and I just don't like the whole yes and thing with improv. Just not a big improv fan in general.
You don't like everything about it.
No. But the movie itself was quite good. I'm sure that Mike Birbiglia made this very much autobiographical, like he did with Sleepwalk with Me, and like what he does with his stand up stuff. And he was really funny, and everybody was really funny.
Yeah.
But it's a solid comedy, and I would recommend it. But I thought that I didn't mention Dean. I'm sorry. Another comedy I saw was Dean, Demetri Martin's directorial debut. I thought that Dean was much funnier than Don't Think Twice. Dean, if you're a fan of Demetri Martin and his style of comedy, then you will definitely like Dean. There's lots of drawings and kind of deadpan humor in it, and he's just a funny dude, and he's really funny in this movie. It's sort of a romantic comedy. I would actually compare it to Garden State. It's sort of like that, where he loses his mother and he's just kind of trying to deal with it. He has a book that's due, and he's sort of having writer's block because he's distracted with trying to get over the death of his mother, and his father, who's played by Kevin Kline, is trying to sell his childhood home, and so he's upset about that. And he ends up taking a trip to LA. He meets Gillian Jacobs, she was in the other movie too. She's on a tear lately. He kind of falls for her, but there's a series of comedic events that take place, and I would definitely recommend seeing this one when it comes out as well, because it's quite funny. Had me chuckling aplenty.
Chuckling all over town.
I was chuckling everywhere.
Oh boy.
So that's kind of my Tribeca in a nutshell. There's a couple other things that I saw here and there that I don't need to get into detail on, but overall, good. Definitely a good festival. It started off a little rocky. I was a little concerned, but with movies like Actor Martinez and Kicks and Love True, it was like that definitely redeemed it for me. So another solid year at Tribeca. Now, I think you had at least one other one that's not Tribeca related that you saw, right?
Sure. I definitely have one. I watched Crimson Peak.
Oh, nice.
Did you know that? Did you know I did that this week?
No, I didn't, but tell me about it.
Surprises everywhere. I watched the Crimson Peak. All right. Now, first off, rocky start to this damn movie. Real rocky. I mean, just out the gate, the first couple of minutes, I'm just like, no, this isn't going to work. Because I'm not a big Del Toro guy to begin with. I mean, I like to watch his movies. Number one, he's actually creative. So that's a nice change of pace, watching, big budget movie that actually has creativity in it and imagination. Yeah. And a lot of the stuff that's born out of that, production design, costume design, that type of stuff, he does really, really well. Mm-hmm. I mean, the people that he gets to make this stuff come alive, it's impressive. But Crimson Peak starts off a bit rocky. You got that horrible voiceover right off the bat. So boom, got one strike against you, because I'm like, why are you doing this? Yeah. Stop it. There's no need for it, because you know how to make movies now. You know what I mean? You're not like 14. Stop with the voiceover. And then he's got the references, like he's pointing out like she's trying to be a writer, which doesn't really matter in this movie at all. Neither do the ghosts, which I kind of found out like 3/4 of the way through the movie. I'm like, oh, these ghosts kind of serve no purpose whatsoever.
They're not what you think they are, for sure.
No, it's like really, and even what they do, you're like, why? Why did you force ghosts in here? But they looked good. I did like the look of them. It creeped me out a little bit.
Yeah, they're a little
Um,
creepy.
but you have like they're making jokes that she's trying to be Jane Austen. She's like, "No, I want to be Mary Shelley," and it's, the ghosts are a metaphor in her book, and you're like, "Oh shit, the ghosts in this movie are probably a metaphor too." Damn, that's cute. Like all that stuff was awful. But once it kind of got past that and settled into, when Hiddleston shows up and the story actually kind of gets going, I have to say I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it.
Good.
The visuals were great. That mansion is ridiculous.
I know.
Like, I just wanted to pause every minute just to scope it out.
I just
Because
wanted.
there's so much going on, man. There's so much.
I know. I just wanted an entire movie of her just exploring that mansion.
Exactly.
Like I
it's
just
incredible.
looking in the drawers. Like it doesn't even have anything to do with the plot. Just her looking through the drawers, finding interesting things.
What it should be, there should be a sequel to Crimson Peak, okay? And all it is they list the house. They listed it. They're selling the place, okay? And all it is them going through and like taking an inventory of things and packing stuff up. And I would watch that because there's so much attention to detail. And I don't know if that's like part of the problem, maybe, is that he kind of gets sidetracked.
Yeah.
With
could be.
putting everything. But I was also kind of surprised with the violence in this. The first thing was the butterfly getting devoured. That was kind of creepy. It freaked me out because it's just like extreme close up of an ant devouring a butterfly's eye. Just like shit, that's kind of weird.
Yep.
Dude getting his face caved in.
That was intense.
That caught me off guard. There's a person that gets like a small dagger file type thing through his cheek, which was, again, that kind of caught me off guard. And the most surprising aspect of that was, obviously getting stabbed in the cheek. That's a bit rough. But then he tries to take it out.
Yeah.
And they just keep the camera on. And he doesn't just pull it out right away. It takes a while because it's kind of stuck in there. Probably got jammed up on some cartilage or some tendons or something. And they just keep it there. And boy.
Yeah.
So there's black moths everywhere. It's just, there's a lot going on that I really enjoy, but then you also have Charlie Hunnam in there. Just
he's not in a whole lot though.
No, he's not, but when he's there, he's fucking there. Because man, does he stick out. He tries so hard. I feel bad for the guy. I mean,
suited for a period piece. Like, I think that's one thing to take away from this.
But after a while, you're kind of cheering for him. You're just rooting for him.
Yeah.
It's like, you'll get it. I mean, I think he was better in it than he was in Pacific Rim. I'll give him that.
I don't really remember his performance in Pacific Rim, so.
Oh boy. That's a rough one. And I only had one other one, if you want to hear about Tale of Tales.
Yeah, let's do it. I was going to try to squeeze this one in this weekend, and I didn't get a chance.
I would. This is what I'll say. I won't talk about it too much, because we can maybe talk about it next weekend. Because there's some stuff in here that we definitely need to discuss. Because you got fleas. There's a flea in this movie.
I saw the giant one, because I saw like a still of that, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah, that's a flea.
Yeah.
That's a flea, buddy. Yeah, it's so fucking gross. It's so gross. There's a sea monster. John C. Reilly fights a sea monster. And it's not a CGI sea monster. They build it.
Nice.
And yeah, it's kind of cool looking. There's so many things. It's like a collection of fairy tales, old Italian fairy tales. A lot of these are actually the original fairy tales that were later reworked by the Brothers Grimm.
Okay.
They kind of fell into obscurity, and the Brothers Grimm kind of tweaked them a little bit and changed them up. But they did it.
That was going to be one of my questions: are these real fairy tales?
See, I wasn't sure, because I was like, man, these are really freaking weird. And I was like, as I'm watching, I'm like, this is great. He's like making new fairy tales, and they're just bizarre. I mean, it's a bit long. He draws them out a bit too much, but overall, it's pretty good because, there's imagination, there's creativity going on. The visuals look great. It's bizarre because it's kind of like it kind of reworks a couple of them into like 3 separate stories. So you're kind of you're switching between the three throughout the film. But yeah, then I come to find out that they're actually old fairy tales, which makes sense because back in the day they were really into some weird shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll try to. Actually, I'll probably watch that when we're done recording. Let's use the fairy tale of tales to segue into our predictions with Huntsman Winter's War. How's that?
All right.
Little fairy tale to fairy tale action.
Oh boy.
Sort of. All right. You said 44. I said 52. Actual 17.
Oh.
Yeah. Next week, Ratchet and Clank.
What the fuck?
A little late on the game with this one, huh? Like the first. If I remember correctly, the first Ratchet and Clank game came out 15 years ago, and they're just getting around to the movie now. I mean, I hope it's good. I did play the new game all the way through, and it's fantastic. It looks gorgeous, and I gotta say, it's one of the best PlayStation 4 games I've played. So if it's anything like the game, which I believe some of the cutscenes, like the pre-rendered cutscenes that are in the game, I think that they are directly from the movie.
Okay.
So the new game it's a game based on the movie based on the game. Nice. And they make sure to point that out several times in the game because it's kind of a cheeky game. It's doesn't take itself too seriously. So they do break the fourth wall and stuff like that, and it just kind of adds to the humor. But I hope the movie's good. So for Ratchet and Clank, I'm gonna say 82.
Okay, I'm gonna say 78.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be closer to your score on that one. But either way, I'll probably go check it out because I like Ratchet and Clank. I like the series, and I'm hoping that the movie's gonna be good. Keanu comes out. This is the Key and Peele movie. I don't know what to say about this one. There were some in the trailer. Some of the jokes made me laugh, and some of them didn't really land for me. So I don't know what to say about this one. What do you think?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of with you. I'm not sure what to think on this one.
All right.
Well, my guess is I'm gonna go like a 70.
70? Okay.
70.
I'll say 67 on that one. I mean, I hope it's good, but I don't know what to think. I think Mother's Day is getting. I think that's one that's getting a wide release. I don't know too much about it, other than it appears to be a romantic comedy. I think Jason Sudeikis is in it. But yeah, that's really all I know.
Oh, we got
Jason Sudeikis and Jennifer Aniston and Kate Hudson and Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Gary Marshall directed it. Pretty Woman, Valentine's Day.
Mm.
So, yeah, I'll say 48 on that one.
I'm gonna go 42.
All right. Limited release next week. We have The Man Who Knew Infinity. That's the one with Dev Patel, I believe. We have Term Life. That's that one with Vince Vaughn and Haley Steinfeld. It looks pretty bad. And Vince Vaughn has a really ridiculous haircut.
He does.
In that one.
That is a really weird poster.
Yeah. Does not look good. Does not look
like
good.
Haley Steinfeld's in a different movie.
They photoshopped that from another movie that she's in.
Jon Favreau's in it too.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because it's directed by Peter Billingsley.
There's a lot of people in this.
And they're like Favreau and Vaughn are like big. They're like best friends with Peter Billingsley.
Got Jonathan Banks, Terrence Howard, Bill Paxton, Mike Epps, Shea Williams.
Yeah, I mean maybe it's good. I don't know.
Tara P. Henson.
The poster's terrible. The trailer's bad, and it's not getting much marketing behind it at all. So my guess is it's going to be not great.
I hope Vince Vaughn is going Nick Cage. That'd be awesome.
I wouldn't bet on that just yet.
I hope he's just dipping his feet in.
Just testing the waters. Testing the Nick Cage waters.
You gotta have a backup plan.
Yeah. Also limited release, we have The Family Fang. That's the new Jason Bateman directed film with him and Nicole Kidman. I'm interested in that. Looks quirky.
Quirky?
Yeah, could be good. Viva. We have A Beautiful Planet. We have Papa, Hemingway in Cuba, which is the worst title ever, and I hate it for some reason. I just hate it. Because until yesterday, I thought it was Papa Hemingway in Cuba. And I'm like, why is it Papa Hemingway? Why don't they just call it Hemingway in Cuba? But then I realized yesterday that it's Papa, Hemingway in Cuba.
Why?
I'm
with you. I'm with you now. Because I just thought it was Papa Hemingway in Cuba.
It's not. It's Papa Hemingway in Cuba.
I don't like that title either.
I don't like it. Victoria, we have The Wait. We have Older Than Ireland. Not familiar with most of these. One called Sacrifice. 3rd Street Blackout. And that's pretty much it. VOD next week. Let's see what we have. High Rise. Wait. Sorry. Yes, next week. Yes, we do have High Rise next week. So that's the biggie.
Nice.
Yep. Blu-ray. These are for Tuesday, April 26th. See, I'm gonna start saying the date before that way I know that I'm not saying the wrong date. Yeah. Krampus. I want to see that. I missed it when it was in theaters, but I want to check that one out. Ride Along 2. I probably will not be seeing that one. Jane Got a Gun. Also, probably not going to be seeing that one. Sorcerer, which I thought that already had a re-release. The William Friedkin film from 1977.
Yeah, I thought it did too.
I was pretty sure that had a re-release like a year ago. Maybe this is some sort of special edition or something. The Last Man on the Moon, which is a documentary that I saw a while back. I wouldn't say that's worth buying. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty much all I have here. There is one. Where is it? There's one that I saw. Oh yeah, here it is. Arrow Film is releasing one from 1986 called The Zero Boys, and I'm definitely interested in this one. It's about a paintball team who go off to the woods and then get hunted by these like killers, and they have to use their paintball skills to survive.
Their paintball skills.
Yep.
That sounds ridiculous, but also wonderful.
I know. I'm gonna try to check that one out if I can. What do we have on the Criterion front?
This is a big week. All right, we're packed. We got 3 coming out.
What? Whoa! Woo!
I mean, that's just usually you have 1. Sometimes you have none. Now we're getting 3. Okay, and we're all over the place here. Number 1 is the Kennedy Films of Robert Drew and Associates.
Sounds like a rip-roaring good time.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Action-packed.
I guess historically speaking, it could be interesting. Phoenix from 2014, which it wasn't that big on. I mean, Nina Haas is unbelievable in it.
I wasn't that big on it either. We reviewed that on the show, actually. You can go back and listen to that one.
Yeah. I mean, Nina Haas is... And that ending. The ending's pretty good.
The ending's good, yeah.
It gives you a jab.
Yep.
Jab in the gut, but you have to sit through a lot before that. And then 1945's Brief Encounter from David Lean coming out on the Blu-ray.
Cool.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that 1973's Dillinger is also coming out on Arrow, and Dolomite is getting a Blu-ray release. Now, if you have not seen 1975's Dolomite, starring Rudy Ray Moore, I would highly recommend checking that out. Dolomite's my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
You just sold it.
Yep. Dolomite's amazing. I loved it. All right. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in again. If you want to check out any of our coverage on Tribeca, just head over to the site. We got tons of reviews up and other coverage. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And please take a minute to take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. We appreciate that so very much. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.